Hello, I'm Rose Byrne and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Welcome to the Broadway.com show, your weekly guide to everything happening on the Great White Way. Or, as we like to think of it, the only place where Broadway favorite and Hollywood rising star Aaron Tveit gets to be TV's newest bachelor. Let's get started with the news. What's the buzz, Imogen?
Broadway alum Josh Hamilton is set to star alongside Ewan McGregor, Maggie Gyllenhaal and Tony winner Cynthia Nixon in Tom Stoppard's The Real Thing, which begins performances in October at the American Airlines Theatre. Since the original 1984 Broadway production won 5 Tony Awards including Best Play, and the 2000 revival won 3 Tonys including Best Revival of a Play, we have high hopes for this upcoming Roundabout Theatre Company version, directed by Sam Gold.
Don't Speak. Woody Allen's Bullets Over Broadway, which stars Zach Braff, Marin Mazzie, and 2014 Tony nominee Nick Cordero, will shutter on the Great White Way on August 24th. Directed and choreographed by Susan Stroman, the world premiere of the musical adaptation of the 1994 movie officially opened April 10th at the St. James Theatre. We'll miss those tap-dancing gangsters most of all.
Neil Patrick Harris will be busy headlining the recently recouped Hedwig and the Angry Inch through August 17th, but then it looks like he's headed to the Freak Show. The Tony winner recently revealed that he wrote TV maestro Ryan Murphy a letter asking to be part of the new circus-themed season of American Horror Story. And lo and behold, Murphy responded via Twitter by inviting NPH on the show. Neil, you're gonna make one fine freak, and we mean that as the highest compliment.
Are you ready to go all the way with LBJ again? We hope so, because Bryan Cranston is officially headed back to your living room. The Emmy-winning star of Breaking Bad will return to the small screen when he reprises his Tony-winning turn as President Johnson in All the Way. Steven Spielberg is producing the Tony-winning drama for HBO, and we have just one question for him. Can you please cast Aaron Paul as Hubert Humphrey?
Hey, I'm Annaleigh Ashford and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Our tweet of the week goes to Rocky's Andy Karl. Once the knockout news was released that the musical will be shuttering on August the 17th, Karl tweeted, "Now I'm going to go eat everything. Hashtag Rocky Broadway. The Italian stallion may be down, but he's certainly not out." You can follow this Tony nominee at Andy Karl.
There's no showbiz arena that Broadway legend Patti LuPone hasn't made her own. The 2-time Tony winner has conquered the Great White Way, made memorable turns on TV and the silver screen, is a bona fide favorite on concert stages, and now we can all be 20 feet from her at New York City's 54 Below. 2 years after starring in the Hotspot's very first performances, LuPone has signed on to appear there regularly through 2016, and kicks off the deal this week with her new show, The Lady with the Torch. For returning to your roots and making sure that everything's coming up roses for your steadfast fans, Patti, you are our star of the week.
In last week's Smackdown, we were so excited about the in-the-works stage adaptation of Clueless that we asked you which other 90s movie you'd like to see sing and dance. 10 Things I Hate About You or She's All That. The votes are in, and 10 Things I Hate About You was the clear fan favorite with 85% of the votes. Better luck next time, Freddie Prinze Jr. In this week's Smackdown, we'd like you to imagine for just a moment that other places besides New York City, the center of the universe, exist. Of course, we'd never travel outside the Big Apple unless we were getting a new musical out of the deal. So we gladly hit the road for Finding Neverland, the new tuner featuring Jeremy Jordan as Peter Pan writer J.M. Barrie at the American Repertory Theatre in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Or there's the new musical version of the baseball comedy Bull Durham at the Alliance Theatre in Atlanta, Georgia, featuring Will Swenson as Crash Davis. So we want to know, which one of these stage adaptations would you take a trip to see? Finding Neverland in Cambridge or Bull Durham in Atlanta? Tweet your vote to Broadway.com with the hashtag #BWaySmackdown and tune in next week for the winner.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Ashley and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
I'd like to propose a toast. This week's Hot Shot is dedicated to Broadway baby Elaine Stritch, who died at the age of 89 on July 17th. To pay tribute to the one and only Stritch, Broadway.com resident artist Justin Squiggs Robertson penned this hotshot of the Tony-winning dame and some of the Broadway marquees she lit up during her remarkable 7-decade career. Headline writers like to call her salty, sassy, brassy, brash, and enduring, and it was all true. Here's to you, Elaine.
Hedwig is all about the glitz, glamour, and rock and roll, but in the first look at Andrew Rannells in the gender-bending role, it's all about the glitter. This week we're giving a fierce thumbs up to the new poster for the hit revival, which shows off a shimmering Rannells who will be stepping into Neil Patrick Harris's Tony Award-winning heels on August 20th. We already knew Andrew has the vocal chops and dance moves to pull off the gig, but we're thrilled with how wicked he looks in Hedwig's lipstick, eyeshadow, and signature sparkle. No lamenting from us.
Thumbs down to the news that Glee has been banned in Britain. In a David and Goliath court case, Mark Tuggan, owner of British comedy music venue The Glee Club, has challenged 21st Century Fox for trademark infringement and won. The UK's High Court has just ruled that the Hollywood bigwigs have to change Glee's name. Thank goodness I now live in America and can watch Rachel Berry, Mr. Schuester, and the whole Glee family without interruption.
That's it for this week's episode of the Broadway.com show. But first, we'd like to get patriotic for a moment. Check out this clip of If Then star Idina Menzel completely killing it, as she tends to do, at the 2014 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. See you guys next week.